inclusive alliance called the India. Friends, democracy is mankind's best option to form a government. When we speak of origins of democracy, we think of ancient Greeks and writings of Plato. However, there are so many outstanding examples of democratic traditions closer to home. In my home state of Tamil Nadu, there is the ancient city called Uttarameru, about 90 kilometers from Chennai, where archaeologists found stone inscription depicting a vibrant democratic system of governance. The inscription from around 920 AD in the reign of Pratanka Chola described a written constitution of the village assembly that functioned 1000 years ago. The village was divided into wards. There was qualification and disqualification prescribed for candidates standing for elections. The mode of election, the constitution of committees with elected members, the function of those committees, the power to remove the wrongdoer, etc. were all codified 1000 years ago. The villagers even had the right to recall the elected representatives if they failed in their duty. So we have a tradition of democracy in our society as well. India is in fact the world's largest democracy. Yet today, democracy is facing its greatest threat since independence. It is not an exaggeration to say that we are in a state of undeclared emergency. Every institution is being suppressed and browbeaten by the ruling BJP. From Abraham Lincoln to Nehru, the idea of democracy has always been to vest power with the popular sovereign. But ladies and gentlemen, there is a common misconception that mere democracy is sufficient to run a constitutional government. Democracy is only a tool to elect a government. It is only the doorway for a party to step into the parliament. There is no guarantee that the government elected through democracy will act according to the constitution and safeguard individual liberties and freedom. Take for example Hitler. In 1933, Adolf Hitler was elected by a democratic process. So in that sense, his government was a democratic government. Yet he proceeded to commit the worst human rights violations. The lessons from Hitler's rise to power and systemic suppression of institutions of democracy are important for us today, and we must recall it. It began with the old god of the party bringing into the fore a polarizing individual. The old god believed they can control this individual but are soon sidelined. The followers of this individual glorify the single individual as a savior of the country. The portrayal is that apart from the individual, nobody else cares about the country, and thus this individual cannot be questioned even by the members of his own party. This individual will question the legitimacy of great leaders who came before him and paint them as traitors in order to erase their legacy. This individual will also claim that he has no family and thus his decisions are not for personal gain. This individual will command the unfailing loyalty of the corporates because of the benefits he showers on them. Remember, top corporates of the era like IBM, Volkswagen, even Coca-Cola aided the Nazi party and stood by Hitler. The individual will exert the full force of the government to ensure that the press toes the party line. Press and media who refuse will be hounded by investigative agencies and made to close or sell their business. In 1930s, the Associated Press, one of the largest news agencies today, fired all the Jewish staff to conform to Nazi standards. Then comes the use of police power to browbeat civil society into submissions. One of the main opponents to the right wing are the trade unions. Suppression of labor and trade unions, environmental activists, and any association of persons who oppose the policies of the supreme individual is key. These persons are branded as anti-nationals and enemies of the state. Legislations are enacted to give a particular police agency unlimited power to harass political opponents and non-compliant individuals. This special agency has unlimited powers of search and arrest and can enter anywhere including government offices. The head of the special agency is a policeman handpicked by the supreme individual and is unquestionably loyal. Any judge who questions the ruling party is either removed or transferred or falsely implicated as corrupt. So far, I have described only how Hitler used democracy to ascend to power, then proceeded to destroy Germany's democratic institution under the Weimar Constitution. If the mind of the audience drew any parallels with the ruling party at the center in India, it is because the similarities are striking and they alone are responsible for the same. What the BJP has done successfully for the last 10 years is create a false narrative of protecting the Hindus and being the savior of the nation. They think that was the key to their electoral success. Hitler had a theory called the big lie. His big lie was the Jews, Marxists and Democrats. He claimed they were weakening Germany. Hitler claimed that once you give a majority a big lie, such as that Hindus are under threat in India, they don't question you for the 100 similar lies. So you can fake a degree, make 100 promises that are false, call someone corrupt one day, and the next day welcome him into the BJP, fail in securing the nation from terror attacks, fail in maintaining law and order, but these failures are not questioned because the masses are focused on the big lie. So how do political opponents counter this big lie? The first step is not to get sucked into the trap. The Hindu-Muslim debate is a false narrative and a distraction. The BJP is good at whipping up religious fervor to distract the citizens from real issues, namely food inflation, unemployment, poverty, lack of security for women, Chinese incursions on the northeast, failure to maintain security in Pulwama, failed foreign policy, the declining rupee, fuel inflation, declining standards of education and higher educational institutions. These should be our focus. Whether in TV debates or political stages, if the BJP talks about religion, we should ask them about these issues. Force the conversation back to these topics. The second important step is to recall and cherish our linguistic and cultural diversity. Right now, the BJP is attempting to destroy India's plurality and make one homogeneous society of our language, one religion, one leader, etc. We need to remind people of our roots and culture and cherish our diverse traditions. One of the fundamental reasons the BJP has not been able to polarize Tamil Nadu is a strong Tamil Dravidian identity that rejects division, and because of a strong leader to the M.K. Stalin. The third is social justice. Communalism's biggest enemy is social justice. Discrimination and division are their weapons. We need to unite under the umbrella of social justice. When we can show the people that our intention is to fight for an egalitarian society, irrespective of caste and creed, people will follow. Even today, we have been asking for a caste census. The caste census that was taken in 2015, the union government is yet to reveal the caste census. What is the difficulty for you to reveal the caste census? We appeal to you that if you are not able to do the caste census by yourself, please give the power to the states. We will do it, and we know how to take care of our people. Friends, ask yourselves, the BJP talks of one language, one religion, one leader, etc. But have you ever heard them talk of one caste? Social justice will break the illusion they are attempting to create. That is why they are scared of the name Periyar, Anna, Kalaignar, and now Mr. M.K. Stalin. The fourth is strengthening our democratic institutions. In 10 years, the BJP has reduced Parliament's majesty. The government is engaged in a wholesale dismantling of democratic institutions, norms and practices. Every day I and other MPs used to go to the Parliament, but we are denied. We used to give 267 notices, but no opportunity is given for us. So that is how the Parliament is functioning. The PM does not answer questions in the House and does not even come to the House. So much was made of the inauguration of the new Parliament building and the Sengol. But when Manipur was burning, the PM did not make a single statement inside the House. The Cholans who wielded the Sengol never shied from taking responsibility for their people. Should India democracy fail, it will affect not only the lives of 133 crore Indians, but also democracy movements around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, one more institution that needs to be protected at all costs are the educational institutions, schools and universities. Only a scientific temper can question the irrationality that the right wing perpetuates and thrives on. Hitler and Goebbels are highly superstitious. In fact, by one report, Hitler always ordered his forces to launch big attacks on Sundays. He regularly consulted occults. He used his superstitious belief to distract people from facts. If people were aware of the facts, they would question his policies. If we think back to how many people were banging utensils in their balcony instead of questioning the government on COVID efforts, we can understand what a great hold superstition has on a person's mind. Today, the BJP government is attacking universities, replacing vice chancellors with yes men. The recent IIM bill is an example of trying to control academic institutions. BJP appointed governors are imposing their irrational thought on universities and interfering with the academics and elected governments, as one in our Tamil Nadu through R.N. Ravi. Even in schools, the BJP is polluting young minds with irrational thought like flying bulbuls. Saffronization of educational institutions have to be objected tooth and nail and countered vehemently. It is an assault on free thought and expression. Lastly, I wanted to conclude by offering the Dravidian model of policies and governance as a case study to be adopted in other states. When the focus is on social and economic justice, people will forget conflict. If a person is well educated, earns well, and is leading a happy life, he is not going to go to the streets to burn down houses of other communities. India's democratic credentials are being questioned at the international level as well. Democracy watchdog Freedom House, which since 1998 has labeled India as free in terms of political rights and civil liberties, downgraded into a partly free. The Sweden-based Varieties of Democracy VDEM project now calls the country as electoral autocracy. The trajectory of Indian democracy has been downward since 2014. Another 5-year spell for the BJP will be a death knell to the democracy. And friends, if they come back to power again, take it from me, the constitution will be tinkered left, right and center, and India will not be the union of states, but will become union of municipalities. Today, that is what happening in Delhi. The big state like Kashmir, one bill, it has turned Kashmir into a union territory. And the union territory today, Delhi, because of another bill, is turned into a municipalities. Therefore, a day may come that India will become a union of municipalities if they again come to power. The states will lose its identity. So that is the warning we have and a challenge before us. I am grateful to our leaders for uniting us all under a common platform of India to fight for India. In fact, some BJP sympathizers are now comically attacking the name India itself, we can see in our parliament. This shows that they have understood the power of this alliance. Let us unite against the divisive forces, promote a culture of equality, inclusivity, rationalism, and self-respect, and ensure that our democracy remains vibrant and true to its founding principles. Let us protect the idea of India. Only India can save India. Thank you.